Howdy, assholes! Are you 13? Are you? Well, let me tell you something. If you're 13 years old or older, sit back, grab yourself some popcorn, enjoy the show. You're allowed to stay. But if you're not 13, get the fuck out. Right now. This show is not for you. It is not for children. It is for adults and young adults, and you should go ask your parents why they suck at their job because they're letting YouTube raise their kid. So yeah, go do that. Come back when you're 13. Enough said.
Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes whenever a franchise hits its lowest point, it dies and can never be revived. However, some franchises break free of its self-induced sorrow, let's just say sorrow, and they become something great. And oh boy, did the Godzilla franchise deliver. Oh yes, let's get into this. Alright, now, are you ready to get this show on the road? No?
Well, yes. don't mind the roar. Just having myself a bit of fun.
Alrighty. Oh, dude, I cannot tell you how much I've wanted to review this one. This, as I said in the last one, is my personal favorite film in the Showa series, and it's not a bad one. It's pretty damn good. So Noah, do you want to go ahead and list off the actors?
Aye, Captain. It is. We first have Masaki Daimon as Keisuke Shimizu. Did I say that right? Yeah, Shimizu. We have Aoyama as Masahiko Shimuzi. Fucking these last. Fuck, I'm losing my touch. Mizu, there we go. Akihiko
Focus.
Hirata as Professor Hideto Miyahima. We also have Akihiko Hirata as Professor. So wait, I already said that, motherfucker. We have Hiroshi Koizumi as Professor Wagura. We have Reiku Tahima as Saiko Kanagutsuku. That's a lot of U's. We have Hiromi Matsuhita as Ikuko Mayahima. We got Goro Mutsumi as Kuronuma Black Hole Alien Leader.
Alright.
And we have Shin Kisada as Navara Impel Agent. We got another Interpol agent. Do I have to say his actor's name? It's just another agent.
You can if you want to.
But oh shit. Hold on. We have Beru Beta Lean as Professor Nami Azumi.
That's Princess.
Princess, I'm sorry. I'm not fully concentrated right now. We got Maso Imafuku as High Priest Azumi. Daigo Kusano as Yanagawa, Alien Agent number 1. Got Kenji Sahara as Ship Captain. We got... This is a new guy, I think. This guy new. We got Isao Zushi as Godzilla this time.
Yes.
We got Kenichi Kazumi as Anguirus and King Caesar, the lion bitch.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call him a bitch. I would more say, he's just an interesting new kaiju that kind of came out of nowhere.
I guess so. And then we got the second name in the title of the movie. We got Kazunari Mori as Mechagodzilla. Cue the music. Bam, bam, bam,
Oh, hell yeah,
ba-dam,
dude.
bam, ba-dam.
Alright. And actually, surprisingly enough, this film was directed by Jun Fukuda. Who knew one of the best Godzilla movies in the entirety of the original series would come out of the same dude who made this hot, steamy garbage? How the tables have turned. Alright. Um, Unfortunately, there is no real, theme or, important message behind this film. Not like Godzilla vs. Hedorah or anything like that, and certainly not like a lot of the stuff we're gonna see when the Heisei series rolls around. Um, but yeah, I mean, this movie, is really damn good, bro, and honestly, I'm excited for it. And yeah, I can't really wait until we get to the point where we talk about the monsters. So are you ready to talk about the film, Noah?
Yes, I
Oh,
am.
I cannot wait for this. Alright, so let's do a brief little rundown of this film. Alright, so the world is shocked when Godzilla, formerly the world's greatest protector, begins attacking the country of Japan almost completely unprovoked. And during his rampage, he begins acting strangely. And when he is attacked by Anguirus, Godzilla's best friend and former sidekick, or presumed former at this point, it is revealed that this thing is actually not the real Godzilla, but an imposter. And unfortunately, he does defeat Anguirus, and that's gonna be the last time we see Anguirus for over a decade. Sorry,
His
buddy.
poor jaw. His
Oh
poor jaw.
man, I can't watch that. That shit just hurts. Um, but yeah, once the fake Godzilla makes its way to a power plant, it runs into the real Godzilla who has come to take back his throne as king of the monsters. And during his fight with the fake Godzilla, it is revealed that the fake Godzilla is in fact a cyborg monster, or completely robotic monster once its outer shell is shed, and it is revealed that this new monster is a robot built in Godzilla's image. You could call it a Mechagodzilla.
Bam, 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 ba-da-dum, ba-dum, bam.
Now the question is, can Godzilla defeat this new monster from outer space? Which, again, Mechagodzilla was built by aliens. We'll talk more about them in a minute. And can he defeat Mechagodzilla with or without help? Or will the aliens that built Mechagodzilla reign supreme over planet Earth? Well, that sounds pretty straightforward, even though there's a lot to unpack there.
I guess so, yeah.
Alright, so now, Noah, which do you want to talk about first? The human aspect or the monsters?
As per usual, let's just get the fucking humans out of the way.
Well, actually, the humans aren't really handled that bad in this movie. I don't know how it
Still
is in
humans.
the original Japanese cut because, again, I don't really have access to a lot of the original Japanese films, but I do, however, have access to the DVDs that I have. And, yeah, from what I can tell, the human characters and the actors portraying them, they they had a relatively good performance. Granted, there are some slip ups here and there, and there is an aspect of the aliens that we're going to talk about here in a minute that's less than ideal. But ultimately, the aliens in this movie are done really well, and the humans themselves. There are some items at the beginning of the movie that are cheesy and are just really odd to listen to, like the freaking space metal scene and all that shit. But other than that, the actors seem to have had a relatively simple time and fun time playing the roles. And honestly, I think that the majority of the cast brought their A game for this movie because watching them on screen was really damn fun and engaging, honestly. And I'm not even making that up. You can go watch this movie right now, and I think you will find the human aspect just as entertaining as the monster aspect. What about you, Noah?
Well, I can't say much as of right now. I haven't seen the movie in quite a while. But I'm going to take your word for it. So,
Now,
all I remember though, aliens.
yeah. This movie catches a lot of heat for ripping off Planet of the Apes, and the reason for that is roll the clip. Yeah. So the aliens are space apes that basically are basically wearing human skin, and whenever they get shot, stabbed, or like incapacitated, they revert back to their normal form. And I mean, honestly, Planet of the Apes did kind of do the effects better, but that doesn't mean that this is still a bad aspect. It's an interesting concept, but again, this movie catches a lot of heat because, yeah, this movie came out after Planet of the Apes, and people just assumed that they were trying to use that as a way to make money. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But I will say that the Planet of the Apes special effects and suits and all that shit, they were higher quality than this film, but honestly, I don't really see the downside in that. So yeah, I mean, the human aspect of this film, like a lot of aspects of these films, isn't perfect, and you're rarely gonna see. I don't think there is a single Godzilla movie where the human aspect is handled perfectly. So yeah, you're rarely gonna see the human side of one of these stories handled as well as this movie does it. And honestly, I don't know which is better, the monster aspect of this film or the human aspect. Speaking of monsters, Noah, do you want to talk about the monsters next?
Absolutely, sir. Of course, we got the infamous Godzilla. But, let's just say, he ain't the only one with a big G in his name anymore.
No, he's not, because Mechagodzilla is kick-ass, and we're going to talk more about him in a minute. Do you want to talk about the soundtrack of this movie whilst we're talking about the monsters?
Oh, yes.
Alright, well, I'll kick it off there. The soundtrack in this film, seeing as how this is the first time in a while that we've actually mentioned it, soundtrack in this movie is pretty damn, like, it's handled really well. There are some Godzilla films that we will cover later that I personally believe have better soundtracks, but this, I mean, the music is right on point. The freaking music itself sounds amazing and well suited for the battles that we actually get to see. And honestly, out of the whole soundtrack, the one thing I would change is that damn song that's required to wake up King Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, what is it
Yeah.
with island gods in Godzilla movies needing music to wake them up? At this
I guess
point,
they
they
just
should have
like
just thrown
doing.
Mothra in there and said King Caesar. But I'm glad they didn't, because King Caesar is awesome.
Oh, yeah, he does have a good design.
Oh yeah. Well, whilst we're on that, let's transition into the designs for the creatures. Starting with King Caesar. This man is a sort of dinosaur crossed with a lion god sort of thing. He has dinosaur scales and shit all over his body, and his like he has claws and shit that resemble that of a theropod dinosaur. But he also has fur all over, like not all over, but on many different parts of his body. And he has ears that raise up into the air like a freaking, like canine and or Big Cat. That and his power set is hilarious and awesome at the same time. If you shoot an energy blast at him, he can absorb it with his eye and shoot it out the other eye. Which, to me, that's the coolest damn thing I've ever seen. Or,
He
well,
says
close to it.
his power is basically saying, no, you.
Pretty much, shit. And yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know who the hell came up with King Caesar, and I don't know who the hell designed him, but they did a really damn good job, and honestly, I hope we get to see more of King Caesar in future films, but the way they did Anguirus, my boy, oh god, this is gonna be the only depressing part of this movie. Anguirus, I'm so sorry, man. First of all, Anguirus' suit got downgraded to the fullest. Good God. What happened to him? His fangs are missing.
Hey.
His face and his upper body look basically like he's been rotting inside of a sewage drain for about 5 months. And according to the actor who wore the Anguirus suit, wearing the King Caesar suit was a breath of fresh air compared to wearing the Anguirus suit because they had mistreated the suit so damn badly that the inside of it was withering and rotting away and it was sticky on the inside and shit. So,
Yeah, that's what happens when they don't make a new suit.
yeah, they just
reuse the
recycled
same
the
one.
old one and they mistreated it all to hell. Oh god, I feel really bad for Anguirus. But no time to dwell on the past. For now, it's time to talk about the two main boys in this film, Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Not much to say about Godzilla here. He looks awesome, like he has in the last few movies. It's basically the same suit with a slight facial upgrade. And, yeah, I really enjoy watching the Godzilla suit in this movie. Honestly, I don't really think that all the blood was really that necessary. And yeah, I know that in Godzilla vs. Gigan they did make Godzilla bleed, but for one of the more child-friendly films in the series, this film has a lot of damn violence in it. And, yeah, I honestly feel as though, if they had done much more damage to the Godzilla suit in this movie, it would have been beyond repair. So, just know that when you watch this movie, you are going to see the Godzilla suit go through torture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, the fact that that thing was still intact by the end of this movie astounds me. Now, as for Mechagodzilla. Sweet baby Jesus, where has this thing been all my life? Noah, before I go on a rant as to how brilliant Mechagodzilla is in this movie, or not a rant, but go on like a tangent, would you like to say anything about Mechagodzilla?
Well, what else can I say but a metallic god?
Is that it?
A metallic god.
Metallic God. Okay. Is that it, or do you want to add more?
Spinny spin hands. But not only that, with that spinny spin head.
Yes. Yes, dude. This thing, oh my god. Can I talk about him yet?
Go ahead, man.
Mechagodzilla. Sweet baby Jesus, this thing is amazing. Mechagodzilla, first of all, his design is goddamn spectacular. He looks like a robotic version of Godzilla, obviously. Otherwise, it would be false advertising. And he looks evil and sinister as shit. This thing looks awesome. And not only that, but you thought John Rambo had an arsenal. Holy hell, this thing is packed to the freaking neck, mouth, fingers, and everything with explosives and laser beams. Basically, the arsenal of Mechagodzilla is everything you can imagine from a children's fantasy dream about building their own robot. He has freaking eye lasers, he can fly, he has missiles in what seems like every appendage on his body. Seriously, finger missiles, toe missiles, knee missiles, freaking, I'm pretty sure he had some sort of, he has torpedoes in his mouth. At some point during the concepts, he was supposed to be able to spit fire out of his nose. And he has a freaking chest laser that can cut clean through a mountain like a knife through butter. I mean, goddamn, what else do you need out of a killing machine like this? I don't know how else to describe it other than almost pitch perfect for murder. And again, unfortunately, since this movie did come out after Terminator, the movie gets a lot of heat for ripping off Terminator the way that it did. And honestly, just shut up. If you guys are going to keep comparing this movie to other films, then just leave and get the hell out of my face. You're not wanted here, and we're going to have a fun time watching this movie without you. So leave, and just know that Mechagodzilla is a goddamn masterpiece in this movie. Nuff said. So, Noah? We've covered basically all that. What else do you want to talk about with this film?
Well, can we talk about how the big mechanical boy ended?
We can cover a few scenes. Yeah, actually. If this isn't an example of Godzilla's plot armor, I don't know what is. But apparently somehow, through getting struck by lightning somehow, or via just getting his ass whooped or some shit, apparently Godzilla now has the power to turn his body into a giant living magnet. Noah? How the fuck he do that?
Plot armor.
I don't understand.
Oh wait, no. Better explanation. Anime training arc.
Anime training arc. oh shit. Just when in doubt, anime training arc works every time. And yeah, Mechagodzilla is ultimately defeated when Godzilla uses his newfound power, and he rips off Mechagodzilla's head, which then ends up having the mech combust and explode, even though his head was able to rotate properly earlier, so why the hell did it break now? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that about Mechagodzilla. He can also spin his head around in a circle so fast it generates a freaking force field around his body made out of energy. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different scenes in this film we can talk about, but we are trying to keep these reviews as short as possible. So let's talk about two more scenes. One of them, the final battle, where King Caesar and Godzilla go up against Mechagodzilla. God damn, I feel so bad for King Caesar and Godzilla's suit actors, because they must have been choking on how much smoke was around them due to the fire and the explosions. Because there's a scene where Mechagodzilla literally unloads his entire arsenal on both of them, and the entirety of the land around them is enveloped in flames and explosions. And god damn, you thought it was bad when in 1964's Mothra vs. Godzilla, you thought it was bad when the suit caught on fire there. This time, the entire back of the Godzilla suit is literally lit aflame. You can see why it's surprising to me that this suit made it out. I mean, how the hell did they even put that fire out? It's literally on the entirety of Godzilla's back. Like, did they have to cut it off and then replace the entire back of the suit? Like, what the hell happened there? And then the third scene. My boy. How could they do that to my boy, Noah? Why does Anguirus not get any more love? Why does he get treated like shit? Anguirus, my boy. I'm so sorry. But you did good. You fought an imposter Godzilla, and even though you got your freaking mouth split open, you did good. Because you managed to land a scratch on that motherfucker. And that way the humans were able to know that that wasn't the real Godzilla. You did not
Yep.
get your ass kicked in vain, my boy. No, when will they give Anguirus the love he deserves?
Once he's introduced into the monsterverse.
Oh, dude, that would be the greatest day of my life.
Don't
So
mind that
Noah,
one skeleton.
who would
Don't
you
mind that.
recommend this film to? Like, what audiences?
I'd say probably teenagers, because they probably enjoyed the action scenes, except for when that one fucking song to summon King Caesar.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, how long does that song even last? Yeah, I'm probably gonna time it in the video and put the time up here on screen. But good God, that thing lasted way too long. I think it lasted longer than the Mothra song from Mothra vs. Godzilla, and that was just agony. However, as for who I would recommend this film to, like Noah said, I would recommend it to teenagers. I would recommend it to adults. And despite how gruesome it is, I would recommend it to some groups of children. I would also recommend this film to any sci-fi fan, like science fiction and all that shit, because if you're a sci-fi fan, you're gonna enjoy the hell out of this film. It explores aliens from another planet. It explores them. It explores Godzilla facing off against a giant robotic doppelganger of himself, which is also made by the aliens. And, there's just a lot of stuff that sci-fi fans would find interesting here. And ultimately, obviously hardcore Godzilla fans would enjoy this film. But also, I feel like if you're just a fan of monster movies in general, I think you would enjoy the hell out of this film because there's a lot of a good time here. If I could speak, that would be amazing. But yeah, this movie has a lot of potential, and honestly, if it were up to me, this is where the Showa Godzilla series would have ended because it was just a great film, and honestly, the next film, it's not bad, but
Yeah,
it just
it's just
doesn't,
not great.
yeah, it doesn't fit. So yeah, that's who I would recommend this film to. Join us tomorrow when we cover the last of the Showa series, Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Alright, y'all know the drill. Like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Y'all want more videos, right? More kick-ass shit? Well, good, because I want more views. Let's help each other on this.